5 mistakes of highly successful people when they're having brain fog. Thanks for checking in again. Take a walk with me in West Palm Beach, and I'm gonna talk about the 5 biggest mistakes highly successful people do when they have brain fog. And if you're somebody with, concentration issues, focus problems, you feel like you're slightly drunk, you know what you want to say, but you can't get the words out, you're listening to people and you look them in the eyes, but you can't follow what they say, everything is like kind of mentally exhausting for you, you feel mentally tired, you have forgetfulness. Forgetfulness is a big thing as well. And when you're having brain fog, and then that alone is really a struggle, of course, when you have these kind of symptoms. You know how hard it is. But hi YouTube, hold on. Yeah, you're on camera. And when you're having these problems, it's already bad. But the thing is, when you're somebody with a successful career, let's say, you're a business owner, or you're a professional, like you're a manager, a CEO, lawyer, or even even a teacher, or you just like need your brain a lot for your time every day and for your work. Then it gets really hard, because the problem is that when you're working in these kind of environments, you can't really bring all of the performance that you want to do. Like, you're not really able to work as good as you want to do. You're not really able to make as much money as well. Like, I worked with people that have their own businesses, but they just make maybe even 70-80% less revenue because they can't work as good anymore because of their brain fog. I've worked with professionals that can't even work at all because their symptoms got so bad. So what's important to understand is if you don't take care of this, then how are you going to end up, basically? How are you going to end up with all of your symptoms? What's going to happen with your work? What's going to happen with your income? What's going to happen with your family? What's going to happen with your life when you don't take care of your brain fog? And the 5 biggest mistakes, let's go into that when people are having brain fog. So the first one is you're on caffeine. So I get it that caffeine is helping you to keep functioning. I totally get it. But caffeine is basically burning you out. The thing is, caffeine is fake energy that you get. You get adrenaline when you're consuming any kind of caffeine. Coffee, matcha tea, green tea, black tea, white tea, chocolate. If you are on caffeine every day, then you basically borrow fake energy. And what's happening is first of all, the caffeine itself is neurotoxic to the brain, so it burns out neurotransmitter chemicals that are needed when you're having brain fog. Because when you're having brain fog, you have neurotransmitter deficiency, coming from toxic heavy metals, but also coming from Epstein-Barr virus neurotoxins. And then your electrical impulses in your brain can't wire and fire as good anymore. So you have derailed thoughts, you have derailed electrical impulses. And that means that you basically have all of these symptoms that we associate with brain fog that I mentioned earlier. And if you have caffeine, it's giving you that temporary relief, but that's it. You burn out even more when you're on caffeine. And you burn out your adrenals even more, leading to more adrenal fatigue as well. So if you're a successful person and let's say you have a demanding job or whatsoever you have going on, and you have brain fog and you're on caffeine, you're not fixing the issue, you make the issue worse. So that's actually what's happening when you have caffeine. The second big mistake, because when you have brain fog, there are lots of toxins involved that are getting into your brain, especially toxic heavy metals. And toxic heavy metals, one hidden source where we get them is from fragrances, is from perfume. So if you are wearing perfume, if you are using fragrances in shampoo, laundry detergent, dish soap, dishwasher tablets, any way where they put fragrances in there, which is basically everything nowadays, but you can get everything fragrance-free. I even have my own fragrance-free natural cosmetics brand. It's just not available in the US or around the world. It's just available in Germany and Austria and Switzerland, but we're gonna do that worldwide as well because we need a scent-free, fragrance-free world. And we have a natural hair wax and we have a hair serum, both fragrance-free. I actually have the hair wax in my hair. That's why my hair is looking so good all the time. And little joke, but basically you need to, actually, fragrances is in hair wax. It is in hairspray. It is in aftershave. It is in deodorants, obviously. So you want to go fragrance-free because you're exposing yourself to so many toxins. They don't have to clarify over 3,000 chemicals in your fragrances, in your perfume. You know, when you see the little term fragrance in your shampoo or in your, let's say, laundry detergent, they don't have to clarify over 3,000 chemicals. And it's just crazy what's in there. And the biggest thing that's in there that's the most toxic in fragrances are actually toxic heavy metals. So if you wanna, you know, have one toxin to get away from your body that is actually leading to more brain fog, you wanna go fragrance-free. Super important for you. That's so important for you. I can't even emphasize that enough. The third one is you're doing fasting. Why is that? Because when you fast, you burn out your adrenals and you're running on adrenaline. And if you are running on adrenaline, what's happening is that the adrenaline, because you don't eat obviously when you fast, your blood sugar drops. And the adrenaline that is getting released because you have no energy source left, you have no glucose left in your bloodstream, the energy has to come from somewhere else. And that is coming from adrenaline, from your adrenals. Again, I was talking about adrenaline already, but let me show you the sunset for a second. Let me show you that. I freaking love Florida. I don't know if you can see it properly, but it's just so nice. But anyways, when your blood sugar drops, okay, because you don't eat, something else has to keep you going, which is adrenaline from your adrenals. That adrenaline is helping you to keep you going, but it is burning out your neurotransmitter chemicals even more. And when it's burning out your neurotransmitter chemicals even more, it leads to more brain fog. It can give you a short-term relief, same with the caffeine, but what your brain needs is glucose. Your brain needs glucose to function, especially from fruit, from any kind of fruit, bananas, papayas, mangoes, pears, grapes. Grapes are an amazing brain food, by the way. So you need glucose for your brain. Your neurons, your nerve cells, they feed on glucose. If you don't have glucose in your brain, you can't think straight. Every time you have a thought, every time you're doing something, your brain is using up glucose. And coming to the next mistake is that, so the first one was caffeine, the second one was fragrances, the third one was fasting, the fourth one, which is like going hand in hand with the fasting, and what I just told you about the glucose in the brain. The fourth one is you're eating a high-fat, high-protein diet. And you might think, huh? High protein? Like, I always thought high-protein diets are good. No, they're not. If your diet is based on protein and focused on protein, you're eating too many fats. And you don't even need as many proteins as everybody thinks. And if your diet is focused on proteins, you eat a lot of fats as well. When you have a lot of fats in your bloodstream, your liver has to produce a lot of bile to disperse the fat cells, and it's overburdening your liver as well. And brain fog, when you have brain fog, it actually starts in your liver. It starts in your liver. It's the most important. Your liver is actually the most important detoxifying organ in your body. You probably know that, or you maybe heard of that. And problem is that we are overburdening our livers more and more, and it doesn't get a chance to cleanse. Your liver is not getting a chance to cleanse. What's happening is if you don't cleanse your liver, you don't get the toxins out of your body and the viruses as well that are causing your brain fog. So And when you're having these high fat, high protein diets, you overburden your body more and more and more and more. And you don't get enough of the healthy carbohydrates that are actually super, super critical for your brain, especially from fruit. So that's what everybody is doing wrong. And the last mistake is that you're eating eggs. Okay, I know it's like everybody is hating me, but nobody actually knows what's causing chronic illness. Nobody knows why people are sick. And eating eggs is actually the worst food you can eat on the planet. Why? People that say hey, eating eggs is good, they don't understand anything about the body, they don't understand anything about illness. Healthy people can eat it. They get sick down the road because they eat eggs and they feed pathogens in their bodies, and then they get sick down the road. But what's actually happening is when you're eating eggs, okay, and you have brain fog, you have the Epstein-Barr virus in your liver that is causing brain fog. That's what's causing your brain fog, Epstein-Barr virus and metals in the brain as well. And when you're having these metals in your brain and when you have the Epstein-Barr virus in your liver, if you eat an egg, let me go, just turn around at the end of my walk here. When you eat an egg, you're basically feeding the Epstein-Barr virus in your liver. You feed the very thing that is causing your brain fog. And let's say you have tinnitus as well. Let's say you have chronic fatigue. Let's say you have thyroid issues. Let's say when you're a woman, you have reproductive issues like PCOS, fibroids, endometriosis. All of these issues are caused by the Epstein-Barr virus. And when you eat these eggs every day, or even just once a week, you feed the very thing that's causing your issues. So what you need to do is to avoid the eggs. It's one of the most important steps in order to heal nowadays. And I always get so much hate about it, but I'm the only one that actually has results in getting people better from brain fog and from chronic fatigue and other chronic health issues. Like everybody else is just like selling you supplements. They don't have any verified reviews. They don't have any testimonials. They don't get anybody better the whole time, but they're just yapping on social media about the supplements they want to sell you. But they actually don't even work with people one-on-one. They don't actually work with people every day that have chronic illness. And you're listening to these people. You're listening to people that never got anybody better and expecting different results. You're expecting to get better while listening to people that actually have no results with the symptoms and conditions that you're struggling with. And then you're asking yourself, oh, I don't know why I'm not getting better. I'm listening to all of these experts. I'm listening to my doctor, which you should always do, of course. But what can you expect if you listen to people that never got anybody better? What do you expect about that? Do you expect from somebody, let's say you want to make your garden very beautiful, okay? And you need a gardener. Do you go to somebody that never fixed a garden before? That never fixed a garden before, made it beautiful? Do you go, or like, who are you going to? Or are you going to somebody that just has like his first website, no testimonials, never fixed any gardens before, compared to somebody that did like hundreds and hundreds of gardens before? What are you doing is you listen to people that never fixed a garden before. That's the biggest problem of people nowadays on social media and people that are trying to heal. You get tricked the whole time. And you're going constantly to people that never helped anybody before. And if they're trying to help somebody, they don't have the results because they don't know what's causing chronic illness. And they don't know what they actually need to do in order to get better. Oh, eat your eggs, high protein is important, eat your fats. They don't know how the brain works, they don't know what's causing brain fog, they don't know nothing. That's why they don't have any results. If you want to have results, if you're a professional business owner, somebody with a successful career, you know, I have the track record. I have so many people that I got better with that. I offer everybody a free discovery call. 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, depending on how many questions we have about your situation. But all that you need to do is you go to my website that is in the description here. It's www.theobergmann.com. And there you click on that and then you book your free discovery call there. And when you book your call, we will call you at the scheduled time. And we will call you at the scheduled time for like 20, 30 minutes, what I just mentioned. Figure out if and how I can help you in the first place, okay? And then when we see, okay, all right, this is actually something that Theo can help with, then we would move on to a strategy call, which is like 60 to 90 minutes with me on a one-on-one Zoom call. And in that one-on-one Zoom call, I would show you what's the root cause of your problems, what you actually need to do in order to get better, what kind of foods you need, what kind of supplements you need, the protocol you need, the strategy you need in order to fix your chronic health issues. And I would highly recommend you doing that, because if you're going from one thing to another thing, or when you're just like, you know, maybe you're just somebody starting and having brain fog and you don't know what to do about it, and maybe you went to your doctor and the blood test always looks fine and you don't know what's wrong, nobody knows what's wrong with you. It was the same for me. That was my worst symptom. Like, brain fog was by far my worst symptom. That's why I can describe it so good. That's why I know how people feel. I know the feeling when you're having brain fog and when there's no joy in your life anymore. It sucks the joy out of your life. You don't want to do anything. You don't have motivation. You don't want to work. You don't want to play with your kids, even though I never had kids. I didn't want to play soccer anymore. I was a professional soccer player. I was like losing all fun and interest in anything. I didn't want to date girls. I didn't want to go out with my friends to cafes. I didn't want to do anything, you know? Because if you have brain fog, it sucks the life out of you. It sucks every joy out of you. Actually, people that have brain fog are one of the hardest working people out there. If you're having brain fog, I'm telling you, you're one of the hardest working people out there, because people don't understand how bad it actually is when you're having brain fog. People don't understand, like, when you're having brain fog, how hard it is to just do simple tasks. How much motivation you need, how much you need to push yourself over and over again to just do groceries, just to go to work, just to run your errands. Everything becomes a burden when you're having brain fog, and this is not something you have to live with for the rest of your life. It's not. You can get better with it, and you can definitely get out of that. You can enjoy your life again, you can do your work again, you can play with your kids again, you can be there for your partner if you have a partner, you can be present with them again. You can get literally your life back if you're getting the metals out of your brain, if you're getting the viruses out of your liver, and that's actually what I help people with. So make sure to book that call, and thanks for joining my little walk, but make sure to book the call, and I'm gonna talk to you very soon. Give me a follow and a subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, and we're gonna talk very soon. All right, guys? Talk soon. Bye-bye.